Naturally Magnetic Men. We are here with one of our OG clients who's been on a hell of a journey, to put it mildly, who managed to make a breakthrough, who is an example of someone who had struggled for quite a long time, had failed under quite a few different solutions, and who had to really open his mind up and explore new ideas to get himself unstuck and get himself a situation that's put him in a far stronger position today. Charles, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm here excited to be on this mission and to prove our methodology and showcase what we did with you. So let's get into it. Charles, I want you to explain to us, before you joined the Magnetic Men's Mastermind group, where were you in your dating life? What were some of the challenges you were having and how was it affecting you?
Yeah, so b- before joining, I didn't have much going on for me in my dating life. So I had a girlfriend for like a few months, but we already knew like we weren't the right people for each other, and we ended up breaking up. And then after that, I went on like years, like 2 years of just nothing, because not because I wasn't trying, but because um, I was really struggling. And and for me, my problem was like mainly anxiety and like trauma and stuff like that. Like I could only connect with girls that were really broken, like that had like similar attributes to me, like similar issues. And that was my long term relationship back then. It was like that. And then when I came here, like I got in a situation where I would go on dates and nothing would actually pan out, and I couldn't understand why. And because I also wasn't really self aware, like I didn't know what my issues were. I didn't know if they were even fixable, and I struggled. Like I probably went on like 50 dates, and I just kept getting rejections after rejections. I mean, back then dating apps were working for me, but I couldn't convert anything. So this is why I decided at some point that okay, this is it. I need to figure that out, and I decided to get professional help.
Yeah. Which is what people who are serious about a breakthrough do. And it's funny that if you look at all the successful people in the world, if you look at the successful tennis players, the successful accountants, the successful business owners, marketers, they invest heavily in themselves. You know, all of the winners who are successful in life do that. And the guys who struggle just wander around, and I really don't get the thought process at all. But, you know, success leaves clues, and ultimately where you were was a position of quite a lot of frustration, a lot of loneliness. And what tends to happen to guys when they're in a cycle of getting dates, which you were doing because your profile was working quite well, but not converting, not going anywhere, they start to just fall into a pit of very deep self-doubt. And you're an example of someone who went really deep into that pit for like years, right? Can you help us understand that a little bit more? And what was the most painful thing about it?
Yeah, for sure. So, like you said, like I went really deep in that pit, and that came not only from the rejections but also from my upbringing. Uh, and and that reinforced that like hey I wasn't enough to get women, that I was never going to actually find a girlfriend that I actually like, that doesn't have like bearing issues or that I'm attracted to. Um and and yeah, like it was just a lot of self-doubt, and over time it turned into more and more anxiety. Like I became like I got more and more scared talking to girls, because in my mind I'm like, hey, like why would I talk to them if like they were never going to accept me anyway. And that's all the narratives that your brain builds around scenarios, that's events that doesn't understand. Like why am I going to like, why am I getting rejected, right? And your mind's when your mind is unstable, is going to go in ways where it's going to create irrational thoughts, irrational patterns that you need to undo later through the program to actually like be able to convert. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. You see, because our experiences that we have in life create beliefs. Like, this is so common what happened to you. It's unfortunate, but in the modern world where we don't have structures in society to facilitate relationships in a quite harmonious way. They don't exist anymore. There isn't a church. There isn't social structures that encourage partnership and child rearing. There isn't a certain societal duty, a sense of collective belonging. These don't exist anymore. It's not like it used to be. So we have just a brutal free market for relationships where those who've got really fantastic skills naturally, or for whatever other reason, they'll do fine still. But for the enormous swathe of the population, now it's a total free for all. If you're unfortunate to not have the pinpoint right calibration and skills, well, you're going to be liable to get quite a lot of negative experiences. Now, what happens when you get negative experiences? They create beliefs, and those beliefs then change your thought process and your view of yourself. Your view of your whole world changes. And this is the problem men get into. They then start to think, I'm not enough. I can't get girls. I can't build a good dating life. I can't get laid. I can't meet attractive women who are desirable to me for partnership, for relationship, or anything. And the truth of the matter is, this isn't a solo lone wolf type of journey. The truth of the matter is, for a lot of people, this is going to require quite significant kind of like belief shifting work and a lot of repetition. But with that, they will get what they're looking for. Now, back to you, Charles. What had you tried before your breakthrough, and why do you think it still wasn't working?
Are you talking before I joined the program or during?
So talk to me about the different things you've gone through in your journey, right? Before things really started to click for you.
Yes. So there were a lot of big events and big phases in my journey that eventually all came together to me getting the breakthrough. Um, the first one being like I was actually explained what was actually wrong with me, or the lack thereof. Like there's nothing wrong with me, right? Like I asked someone sit down with me and explain to me what trauma was, and like explained that all my beliefs weren't true at all because back then I truly believed them, um, and and I got explained on how to actually work on them, and that was through therapy, doing a lot of breath work, journaling, like yeah, even went deep with like somatic exercises like TRE, etc., etc., and these really helped me like remove my fears around talking to women. So that was one aspect of it. The second aspect of it was I got a lot of exposure over time. At the beginning, like yeah, I went really hard and it wasn't working because it was too much exposure. And after we just dialed it down and we created like a safe environment, uh, where I was able to gradually get that exposure, and that really helped. Um, and and yeah, like for it was also it's a process, right? Like when we started, we tried going quickly and it didn't work, so we had to dial it down, and it's a per case basis, right? And over months and months, I saw my fear going down and down and down. And the last piece of the puzzle that I got was some more planning, like some more uh, kind of like mindset work, like hey, like how am I supposed to approach self improvement? When should I what should be my expectations towards it? Like what's my pace, etc., etc., and also like what should I be executing and what should I be focusing on next? And that's really helped like set a plan and follow it on dates or like on code approach and all of that. So some structure was the last missing piece, and through that I was able to break through and get on a date and actually convert.
Yeah, because the reality is that you as an individual had like a really distorted sense of how all of this works, and you just perpetuated your own struggle. You breaking through was a very systematic kind of precision, pinpoint, moving things around kind of endeavor, where myself and Coach D had to keep your nervous system regulated through doing a lot of breath work, a lot of specific kind of journaling exercises that we do, daily practice, meditation, to bring down your overall allostatic load. And whilst doing that, it's a reciprocal approach. Whilst we regulate your nervous system, build superior beliefs, do the deeper men's work to actually shift your reality over time in a way that your brain will accept it, even though it's often going to fight it tooth and nail when you've formed a belief, and also increase exposure at the right kind of dose at the right time, progressively. And the thing that we usually notice is when the dose is right, importantly, male subconscious is shifting towards actually having a more appropriately aligned belief system for his goal, then exposure can increase a bit more because then the body accepts it. When the belief system and your goal are aligned, right, then the body feels safe and comfortable to do those behaviors. And then the anxiety and overall nervous system symptomology that they're experiencing starts to abate. Yeah. And that's how we get guys breaking through. It's not just expecting free content and theory and overthinking or lone wolf efforts to get you through. This is just not that kind of endeavor. This is a very deep, personal, quite transformative kind of endeavor. And even though you understood things intellectually, Charles, it was actually your nervous system and where your belief system was that meant you couldn't execute, right? And was there any point in particular where you thought that the breakthrough just wasn't going to happen?
Yes, I always like always like feel bad about my timelines. Hey, like I've been at it for like months to a year, and like and I don't feel like I'm to the point where I can do it. But really, like looking back at it, the progress was there, and I could feel it week to week, and over months and months, I went from like literally zero or even negative to somewhere where I feel like I'm on par with the average guy, and soon I'm going to be going above that and be greater than average or even like legendary, right? To the program you can start low and then become really good at this, and that's what I want to do next.
That's it. But we all of us in the program, our standard is to become really good, not just mediocre or average, but get really good results with women. Okay. And the truth is, it's a psychological transformation. Like you have to take your current self and become a different self, and then take that different self and become a different self again. And all it really is shifting the beliefs really manifestly to where there's no doubt and changing your neurological structures again and again, evolving you, right? Which is why we do it in the way that we do it. It's for serious people who are looking to make a serious commitment to themselves. And whilst you were uncertain, Charles, we knew the progression was happening. How do we know? Because you were becoming more magnetic. How do we know for sure? Well, you were being told you had a different energy to you. Your social life changed. More women were just naturally drawn to you, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So we knew it was happening, even though, Charles, some would say, and you've previously had other coaching where you were unsuccessful. Some would be really skeptical that you'd be able to change, but lo and behold, you've now recently had some changes in your day in life that you now know beyond any doubt you've gotten forward. So what was it more recently, Charles, that confirmed to you, wow, I've never done this before and now it's happening?
Like I remember, like the biggest thing that happened is I was able to go on a date and actually like close within the same day, which is something that never happened to me before. Even with my last girlfriend, that was like just super yes, like she just was so into me, and she would accept everything. Even then, it took me 3 or 4 days to actually get anything. All right. And that's all because of my fears and all of that. And also like just being bonded in conversation, like be able to connect with the other person, and understand w- what the feelings behind what this person is saying, and where she's at, and where I am at, and having the superior way of connecting that I didn't have before is was like moments that I was like, oh, actually, yeah, I am becoming that person. And that's a very good shift that I had.
That win that you had, just to be clear for people who are in the audience, Charles had really never been able to escalate, really never been able to pitch pulls, bring girls back to his place. And even when he's had success in the past, many years ago, it was after many, many, many dates with girls who were like so unbelievably into him, that he was really getting these statistical outliers. And there was many challenges with what was happening there and who he was attracting because who he was internally at that time. But now going through the program, being on the mastermind, doing the training with Coach D consistently, doing the training with me consistently, not only changing his social skills, his social variables, but also building his nervous system, being more regulated, improving his actual mindset and beliefs, being accountable, improving his biology, his performance. This program is a very holistic program because the solution for the modern male has to be a very holistic solution. You simply have to self actualize and become a far more confident, magnetic version of yourself. But it is these things that tip over time into producing complete step changes, which is what we've seen with Charles. Complete 180-degree transformative embodiment, right? So, Charles, specifically, what made you decide to join the mastermind, even though part of you was uncertain and had been stuck for quite a while?
I've actually I went on a different coaching program before joining the mastermind, and this didn't work at all for me because I wasn't taught the proper techniques. I wasn't taught where my problems were coming from. Um, so I was a bit discouraged, and then I had a friend recommend me to go see Coach D for like just watch one of his sessions, and I remember during that session, what I saw just blew my mind. Like how could someone be so charismatic, and how was he able to have like approach a girl and have all these girls like just focus 100% on him and just follow him and just like the level of control he had over them is something like I would only dream of. And when I saw that, I realized that okay, like this is legit. Like he wasn't like that before, and he was able to build up to this, and I want to do the same.
That happens to be most men's experience when they see a truly masterful instructor like D, who's 10 years of experience and elite results. I had the same thing, to be quite honest. When I saw D and what he could do, it just firstly just melted my brain because, well, all of a sudden I knew, well, if I don't achieve what I want, it's actually because I didn't try hard enough because now I've seen this can be done. And secondly, it was so actually impressive that I decided if I need to spend the next 10 or 20 years being able to do what D can do, so be it. Because this is an incredible, incredible thing. And I don't want mediocre and average, and I certainly don't want what many men have to settle for. So let it be done. Right, let it be done. So, um, just two more questions for you, Charles, because we really want to celebrate this, but also just flesh it out. Because I think you may agree, you've been through this space, I've been through this space. There's some really good people, there's some knowledgeable coaches and mentors, there are some good communities out there, but unfortunately, this is a very complex puzzle, and it does take quite a lot of different things to converge, and the right community and the right kind of mentoring. And we have to keep people in a mastermind of this sort to actually achieve neurological change. This is nothing but brain rewiring, okay, to get them what they're looking for. But look, if you're to review now, what were the specific kind of mechanisms that you think were really important for you that allowed you to unlock your new level now?
What do you mean by mechanisms?
So, what specific elements of the program did you find really useful? Was it the training with D? Was it the structure of just showing up every week? Was it the accountability? Was it specific mindset shifts? Were there specific tools that we use? I mean, we've used a lot of tools with you. You're welcome to talk about any and all of them. What, in your opinion, really helps you get here now?
I think the biggest part is the community, in my opinion, because like one is it's a very positive community. We're all in this together, and also like it's very easy to quit. it is extremely easy, especially with when we talk about things that are extremely stressful or traumatic, like uh, getting a lot of rejections one after the other is not something that most people can manage on their own, without like reassurance and knowing like what is happening and how to deal with them. And the group is really good at keeping people into it, like like reviewing people's experiences, posting in the chat about like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Am I going the right way? Oh, this is what happened, and I feel really bad about it. What is a better way to think about it? So the community is definitely the biggest thing. Like you can take all these tools, and if you know exactly what you need, you can apply them on your own. But you won't be getting that guidance about like, hey, like where am I at right now? Do I still need to do this? Do I still need to get like because you get to a point where you get diminishing returns based on a technique, and you have to switch to another one. So I would say it's community and guidance was the biggest thing about the community, and the tools are just part of it, right? And but they're just but these you can always find online. You can always like search for them, but the methodology and the experience that you get here, you will not find online.
It's it's the problem solving ability I think you're getting at, Charles, that me and Dee have just accumulated from, in total 15 years. Would you believe, like, if maybe a bit more than that, of actually hands-on coaching, man, every day, because you get to understand that this is a it's a methodology fundamentally, inner and outer game restoration. And to specifically understand the individual male's sticking points, it's tremendous amounts of testing from me and D. But we have tools, right? D does his training where he'll actually uncover where your sticking points are. I know how to uncover people's blocking factors in their inner and in their developmental kind of area. And it's kind of that. When we reflect on you, Charles, there was the earlier part of your journey where your nervous system just truly wasn't even allowing you to approach. We do recall, I mean, there was a point where even the thought of cold approach would make you physically shake. Right. Thereafter, we had to regulate you a lot, really do a lot of reprogramming to where your nervous system could even come to get more out of the training. And through that, what we saw was internal shifts where your identity built up, where like this guy who was hiding from the world, really just not even wanting to open up and ask for help and show up really fully present, has become a man who is really striving for excellence, who is really committed to going forward and can see there is a path here. And that's the fundamental thing, Charles. It's like, if you do enough reps on improving your psychology, in improving your nervous system regulation state, in improving your communication skills and how you socially relate, improving your vibe and charisma and confidence, and improving things like SMV and looks. We do all of this in the group together. But with enough progression and incremental gains, then the outer results are completely different, and you've now experienced that. So to wrap up, then, Charles, for the man who's watching this and feels stuck and is on the fence about joining our mastermind, what would you say to them?
I would say to them that no matter what your problem is, it's 100% fixable. And if you join this program, there is near 100% chance that if you stick to it, you will fix it. I actually like I started very, 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 very low. Like I never thought that I would even get to that point. And I did through all the guidance that I got from the group and all the repetitions that I had to do, and I had to structure my life around this. But now I'm at a point where I can truly say that, hey, like the future is bright, and this can be a future too.
Absolutely. Because the individual who's stuck, the unfortunate thing, and what we have to convince and persuade these people of, their own brain is telling them they can't do this. Their own brain, because they've kept having negative experiences, because they've lived in loneliness, they've lived in isolation. Their brain has changed its belief system, and that's what the brain does. The brain is a survival machine to maintain homeostasis around just fucking remaining stuck. And all the copes, all the rationalizations it's began to stack are, well, this is the way the world is, this is the way women are, so on and so forth. And Charles, you've had your own too. But here's the thing. In life, anything can be accomplished. All you need to do is become the version of you who can. The person who's stuck if they are currently stuck, they have a literal 0% chance of success right now because of how their brain has configured itself. And if they stay stuck for another 6 to 12 months, unfortunately, as you know, Charles, all it does is cement that inappropriate belief constellation further and further. And to that person, the cost of staying stuck for another 6 to 12 months is just falling deeper and deeper, man. And it's a scary fucking prospect. But as we now know, as we've proven, it doesn't have to be that way. Once you've got the roadmap, this is no longer a war at all. This is freedom to go forward and to become the man who chooses. So final question, Charles. What would you say to the version of you who was once hesitating to take action?
I would tell him to not despair, to stick with the process, and to be more bold with the product, with the process, and with the things people ask you to do. Like I would go on the group and like to the weekly calls, and I'll be scared of doing action, and I feel like the more you stick with it, the more you apply yourself, the faster you move on, and you cement new habits and new beliefs about yourself. And I would say that, yeah, that's basically it. Like, don't despair and just stick with it, because this is the way to solve it.
Beautiful. So to now conclude, Charles, where do you want to be in 2 years when it comes to your relationships with women?
I want to be good at this. Like I want to uh, go into cold approach and be able to convert from cold approach and actually like have great experiences with women. I want to eventually have a relationship. Um, I'm not sure that'll happen in 2 years. It might happen in 1 year. It might happen in 2 years, maybe 3 years. But I know it's going to happen. And I want to have the option of choosing who my partner would be, and not be chosen instead. Uh, which is a lot of things that happens to a lot of men, where they just like because just get chosen and they just settle for someone, and I don't want to be that person.
You don't have to be. All of this really is like you just found the right information. You were quite lucky. You found the right information, and it really shifted your sense of reality because you already know it's possible. You already know it's achievable. You already know you've actually had the benefit of seeing me go through this, which is interesting, and other people too in the group and D, right? To where you know to enter an entirely different reality is possible. There's a version of your reality where you struggle with women. There's a version of your reality where you are getting consistent success with women, where you're getting laid, where you're having nice experiences, where you've got a nice friends with benefits or a couple or whatever it might be. There's a different version of your reality where you're really attracting the type of women you are extremely happy with. You find them very desirable. And then there's a version of your reality where you're so beyond any concern with attracting women. You're just moving, you're just in this world fully free, liberated. Yeah. All of these different areas of reality, all it ever is you've shifted your beliefs, you've gained enough reference experiences, you've improved your psyche, your communications, all of those different things enough to have entered those levels. And it starts with just being awoken to that it's possible. And there is a roadmap to get there. You're now on your journey and you've already virtually 100% likely to succeed. Because in your instance, you know, it's just going from here, where you are, where you're closing, where you're able to do that, to the next level where you've improved further and you're stretching your horizons, and then you keep going from there. But it's only ever going to be the fundamental process you're already started. We just have to keep evolving you. And that's really it. So my conclusion now, my invitation to our audience is as follows. You can do this too. You don't have to be stuck struggling with women in a reality you don't want to be. You don't have to be waking up where Charles was, hopeless and wondering if you can ever find the quality kind of women and the relationships that you're looking for. That can be so far in the rearview mirror that you're just free, that you're just going forward in your life and you've taken this fucking monkey off your back. The feeling of pride a guy experiences when they get their breakthrough is a feeling that stays with them. And it gives them a certain momentum in the rest of their life that they're going to aggressively move forward. Charles is on track now. Charles is moving forward. Charles is moving towards unbelievable, unstoppable, natural magnetism of women. And me and Charles both want the same for you. And if you're interested in finally getting unstuck and taking your dating and social life to the next level, then speak to us. Drop a comment, email me, and we can explore bringing you into the mastermind group. But for now, Charles, massive, massive congratulations to you. You're now in the Hall of Fame. You're an OG, and you've proven to all of those who doubt they can ever break through that is 100% possible. So thank you for that.
Thank you.